He will win who knows when to fight and when not to fight. In the midst of chaos, there is also opportunity. Victorious warriors win first and then go to war, while defeated warriors go to war first and then seek to win. If you know the enemy and know yourself, you need not fear the result of 100 battles. If you know yourself, but not the enemy, for every victory gained, you will also suffer a defeat. If you know neither the enemy nor yourself, you will succumb in every battle. The greatest victory is that which requires no battle. Quickness is the essence of the war. Even the finest sword, plunged into salt water, will eventually rust. The art of war is of vital importance to the state. It is a matter of life and death, a road either to safety or to ruin. Hence, it is a subject of inquiry, which can on no account be neglected. There is of no instance of a nation benefiting from prolonged warfare. There are not more than 5 musical notes. Yet the combinations of these 5 give rise to more melodies than can ever be heard. There are not more than 5 primary colors. Yet in combination, they produce more hues than can ever be seen. There are not more than 5 cardinal tastes. Yet the combinations of them yield more flavors than can ever be tasted. Who wishes to fight must first count the cost. You have to believe in yourself. Build your opponent a golden bridge to retreat across. One may know how to conquer without being able to do it. What the ancients called a clever fighter is one who not only wins, but excels in winning with ease. The wise warrior avoids the battle. The whole secret lies in confusing the enemy, so that he cannot fathom our real intent. One mark of a great soldier is that he fight on his own terms, or fights not at all. If the mind is willing, the flesh could go on and on without many things. He who is prudent and lies in wait for an enemy who is not will be victorious. Anger may in time change to gladness. Vexation may be succeeded by content. But a kingdom that has once been destroyed can never come again into being, nor can the dead ever be brought back to life. There are roads which must not be followed, armies which must not be attacked, towns which must not be besieged, positions which must not be contested, commands of the sovereign which must not be obeyed. Attack is the secret of defense. Defense is the planning of an attack. Great results can be achieved with small forces. Opportunities multiply as they are seized. If quick, I survive. If not quick, I am lost. This is death. To secure ourselves against defeat lies in our own hands. But the opportunity of defeating the enemy is provided by the enemy himself. Bravery without forethought causes a man to fight blindly and desperately like a mad bull. Such an opponent must not be encountered with brute force, but may be lured into an ambush and slain. Wheels of justice grind slow, but grind fine. Never venture, never win. The skillful tactician may be likened to the Shoijan. Now, the Shoijan is a snake that is found in the Chang Mountains. Strike at its head, and you will be attacked by its tail. Strike at its tail, and you will be attacked by its head. Strike at its middle, and you will be attacked by head and tail both. It is easy to love your friend, but sometimes the hardest lesson to learn is to love your enemy. Beware, your enemy is not. Who does not know the evils of war cannot appreciate its benefits. In battle, There are not more than two methods of attack: the direct and the indirect. Yet these two in combination give rise to an endless series of maneuvers. Plan for what is difficult while it is easy. Do what is great while it is small. The opportunity of defeating the enemy is provided by the enemy himself. Foreknowledge cannot be gotten from ghosts and spirits, cannot be had by analogy, cannot be found out by calculation. It must be obtained from people who know the conditions of the enemy. If you fight with all your might, there is a chance of life, whereas death is certain if you cling to your corner. Do not swallow bait offered by the enemy. Do not interfere with an army that is returning home. Wherever you go, go with all your heart. We should feel sorrow, but not sink under its oppression. And remember, no matter where you go, there you are. To be wealthy and honored in an unjust society is a disgrace. Roads were made for journeys, not destinations. To go beyond is as wrong as to fall short. The way you cut your meat reflects the way you live. Real knowledge is to know the extent of one's ignorance. Desire to have things done quickly prevents their being done thoroughly. Three things cannot be long hidden: the sun, the moon, and the truth. The object of the superior man is truth. What you do not wish upon yourself, extend not to others. A man of wisdom delights in water. Learn as if you were not reaching your goal, and as though you were scared of missing it. To practice 5 things under all circumstances constitutes perfect virtue. These 5 are gravity, generosity of soul, sincerity, earnestness, and kindness. To understand yourself is the key to wisdom. Sincerity is the way of heaven. First, there must be order and harmony within your own mind. Then this order will spread to your family, then to the community, and finally to your entire kingdom. Only then can you have peace and harmony. When anger rises, think of the consequences. A lack of patience in trifling matters might lead to the disruption of great project. Straightforwardness without the rules of propriety becomes rudeness. Love is like a spice. It can sweeten your life. However, it can spoil it too. The true gentleman does not preach what he practices till he has practiced what he preaches. It is man that makes truth great, not truth that makes man great. Silence is a true friend who never betrays. Faithfulness and sincerity are the highest things. The journey with 1,000 miles begins with 1 step. Learn avidly, question it repeatedly, analyze it carefully, then put what you have learned into practice intelligently. Base yourself in loyalty and trust. Don't be a companion with those who are not your moral equal. When you make a mistake, don't hesitate to correct it. Anyone can find the switch after the lights are on. Sincerity is that whereby self-completion is effected, and its way is that by which man must direct himself. One joy dispels 100 cares. Everything has beauty, but not everyone sees it. To love a thing means wanting it to live. A lion chased me up a tree, and I greatly enjoyed the view from the top. Study the past if you would divine the future. Can there be a love which does not make demands on its object? He who speaks without modesty will find it difficult to make his words good. If you try to do too much, you will not achieve anything. True goodness springs from a man's own heart. All men are born good. You can successfully force people to follow a certain course, but you cannot force them to understand it. The man who asks a question is a fool for a minute. The man who does not ask is a fool for life. The man who moves a mountain begins by carrying away small stones. The superior man is satisfied and composed. The mean man is always full of distress. Do not let a leader lead you on a bad path. When you see a good person, think of becoming like her or him. When you see someone not so good, reflect on your own weak points. Music produces a kind of pleasure which human nature cannot do without. Ah, music, sacred tongue of God, I hear thee calling, and I come. You are what you think. He who conquers himself is the mightiest warrior. Our greatest glory is not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall. They must often change who would remain constant in happiness and wisdom. Knowing something is not as good as liking it. Liking something is not as good as rejoicing in it. Be not ashamed of mistakes, and thus make them crimes. The more man meditates upon good thoughts, the better will be his world and the world at large. I slept and dreamt life is beauty. I woke and found life is duty. No matter how busy you may think you are, you must find time for reading or surrender yourself to self-chosen ignorance. When wealth is centralized, the people are dispersed. When wealth is distributed, the people are brought together. There are 3 degrees of filial piety. The highest is being a credit to our parents. The second is not disgracing them. The lowest is being able simply to support them. To be wronged is nothing unless you continue to remember it. To be truly happy and contented, you must let go of what it means to be happy or content. Only the wisest and stupidest of men never change. Don't complain about the snow on your neighbor's roof when your own doorstep is unclean. Let the states of equilibrium and harmony exist in perfection, and a happy order will prevail throughout heaven and earth, and all things will be nourished and flourish. If you make a mistake and do not correct it, this is called a mistake. A youth is to be regarded with respect. How do we know that his future will not be equal to our present? I hear and I forget. I see and I remember. I do and I understand. When it is obvious that the goals cannot be reached, don't adjust the goals, adjust the action steps. Education breeds confidence. Confidence breeds hope. Hope breeds peace. Study without reflection is a waste of time. Reflection without study is dangerous. I want you to be everything that's you, deep at the center of your being. Learning without thought is labor lost. Thought without learning is perilous. Have no friends not equal to yourself. By nature, men are nearly alike. By practice, they get to be wide apart. A superior man is modest in his speech, but exceeds in his actions. When the multitude detest a man, inquiry is necessary. When the multitude likes a man, inquiry is equally necessary. The people may be made to follow a path of action, but they may not be made to understand it. The parent's age must be remembered, both for joy and anxiety. Choose a job you love, and you will never have to work a day in your life. Those who cannot forgive others break the bridge over which they themselves must pass. It is not possible for one to teach others who cannot teach his own family. If you look into your own heart and you find nothing wrong there, what is there to worry about? What is there to fear? Better a diamond with a flaw than a pebble without. Learn as though you would never be able to master it. Hold it as though you would be in fear of losing it. The will to win, the desire to succeed, the urge to reach your full potential, these are the keys that will unlock the door to personal excellence. It does not matter how slowly you go, as long as you do not stop. Ignorance is the night of the mind, but a night without moon or star. If the gentleman is not serious, he will not be respected, and his learning will not be on a firm foundation. He considers loyalty and faithfulness to be fundamental, has no friends who are not like him, and when he has made mistakes, he is not afraid of correcting them. The expectations of life depend upon diligence. The mechanic that would perfect his work must first sharpen his tools. How transcendent is the virtue of the middle conduct? Rare for a long time has been its practice among the people. To see and listen to the wicked is already the beginning of wickedness. Forget injuries. Never forget kindnesses. To lead uninstructed people to war is to throw them away. I'd rather die for speaking out than to live and be silent. I have not seen a person who loved virtue or one who hated what was not virtuous. He who loved virtue would esteem nothing above it. There is nothing more visible than what is secret, and nothing more manifest than what is minute. Words are the voice of the heart. Good people strengthen themselves ceaselessly. We cannot enter into alliances until we are acquainted with the designs of our neighbors. When the outlook is bright, bring it before their eyes, but tell them nothing when the situation is gloomy. The worst calamities that befall an army arise from hesitation. If there is a disturbance in the camp, the general's authority Hence, that general is skillful in attack, whose opponent does not know what to defend. And he who is skillful in defense, whose opponent does not know what to attack. Those skilled at making the enemy move do so by creating a situation to which he must conform. They entice him with something he is certain to take, and with lures of ostensible profit they await him in strength. Energy may be likened to the bending of a crossbow, decision to the releasing of a trigger. When your army has crossed the border, you should burn your boats and bridges in order to make it clear to everybody that you have no hankering after home. There are 5 dangerous faults which may affect a general. 1. Recklessness, which leads to destruction. 2. Cowardice, which leads to capture. 3. A hasty temper, which can be provoked by insults. 4. A delicacy of honor, which is sensitive to shame. 5. Over solicitude for his men, which exposes him to worry and trouble. Ponder and deliberate before you make a move. Rewards for good service should not be deferred a single day. Begin by ceasing something which your opponent holds dear. Then he will be amenable to your will. If words of command are not clear and distinct, if orders are not thoroughly understood, then the general is to blame. But if orders are clear and the soldiers nevertheless disobey, then it is the fault of their officers. If his forces are united, separate them. Move not unless you see an advantage. Use not your troops unless there is something to be gained. Fight not unless the position is critical. The general who advances without coveting fame and retreats without fearing disgrace, whose only thought is to protect his country and do good service for his sovereign, is the jewel of the kingdom. It is only the enlightened ruler and the wise general who will use the highest intelligence of the army for the purposes of spying, and thereby they achieve great results. If soldiers are punished before they have grown attached to you, they will not prove submissive. And unless submissive, then will be practically useless. If, when the soldiers have become attached to you, punishments are not enforced, they will still be useless. Convince your enemy that he will gain very little by attacking you. This will diminish his enthusiasm. To fight and conquer in all our battles is not supreme excellence. Supreme excellence consists in breaking the enemy's resistance without fighting. Let your plans be dark and impenetrable as night. And when you move, fall like a thunderbolt. All warfare is based on deception. Hence, when we are able to attack, we must seem unable. When using our forces, we must appear inactive. When we are near, we must make the enemy believe we are far away. When far away, we must make him believe we are near. If your opponent is temperamental, seek to irritate him. Pretend to be weak, that he may grow arrogant. If he is taking his ease, give him no rest. If his forces are united, separate them. If sovereign and subject are in accord, put division between them. Attack him where he is unprepared. Appear where you are not expected. To know your enemy, you must become your enemy. Thus, we may know that there are 5 essentials for victory. 1. He will win who knows when to fight and when not to fight. 2. He will win who knows how to handle both superior and inferior forces. 3. He will win whose army is animated by the same spirit throughout all its ranks. 4. He will win who, prepared himself, waits to take the enemy unprepared. 5. He will win who has military capacity and is not interfered with by the sovereign. Treat your men as you would your own beloved sons, and they will follow you into the deepest valley. When the enemy is relaxed, make them toil. When full, starve them. When settled, make them move. So in war, the way is to avoid what is strong and strike at what is weak. To win 100 victories in 100 battles is not the acme of skill. To subdue the enemy without fighting is the acme of skill. Be extremely subtle, even to the point of formlessness. Be extremely mysterious, even to the point of soundlessness. Thereby, you can be the director of the opponent's fate. Thus, the expert in battle moves the enemy and is not moved by him. Water shapes its course according to the nature of the ground over which it flows. The soldier works out his victory in relation to the foe whom he is facing. The supreme art of war is to subdue the enemy without fighting. Appear weak when you are strong, and strong when you are weak. When one treats people with benevolence, justice, and righteousness, and reposes confidence in them, the army will be united in mind, and all will be happy to serve their leaders. Flow with whatever may happen, and let your mind be free. Stay centered by accepting whatever you are doing. This is the ultimate. A path is made by walking on it. Rewards and punishment is the lowest form of education. The wise man knows that it is better to sit on the banks of a remote mountain stream than to be emperor of the whole world. Happiness is the absence of the striving for happiness. Forget the years. Forget distinctions. Leap into the boundless and make it your home. To a mind that is still, the entire universe surrenders. To be truly ignorant, be content with your own knowledge. The sound of water says what I think. If you have insight, you use your inner eye, your inner ear, to pierce to the heart of things and have no need of intellectual knowledge. We are born from a quiet sleep, and we die to a calm awakening. When the heart is right, for and against are forgotten. Great wisdom is generous. Petty wisdom is contentious. And how do I know that the hate of death is not like a man who has lost his home when young and does not know where his home is to return to? Where is that man who has forgotten words, that I may have a word with him? When affirmation and negation came into being, Tao faded. After Tao faded, then came one-sided attachments. Men honor what lies within the sphere of their knowledge, but do not realize how dependent they are on what lies beyond it. Cherish that which is in you and shut out that which is without, for much knowledge is a curse. Only he who has no use for the empire is fit to be entrusted with it. Where can I find a man who has forgotten words? He is the one I would like to talk to. Cease striving, then there will be transformation. The petty thief is imprisoned, but the big thief becomes a feudal lord. The one-legged creature is envious of the millipede. The millipede is envious of the snake. The snake is envious of the wind. The wind is envious of the eye. The eye is envious of the heart. To forget the whole world is easy. To make the whole world forget you is hard. You can't discuss the ocean with a whale frog. He's limited by the space he lives in. You can't discuss ice with a summer insect. He's bound to a single season. The man who has forgotten self may be said to have entered heaven. The perfect man uses his mind like a mirror, going after nothing, welcoming nothing, responding but not storing. It can be passed on but not received. It can be obtained but not seen. He who has mastered the true nature of life does not labor over what life cannot do. He who has mastered the true nature of fate does not labor over what knowledge cannot change. The little child learns to speak, though it has no learned teachers, because it lives with those who know how to speak. Your life has a limit, but knowledge has none. If you use what is limited to pursue what has no limit, you will be in danger. The sage is still not because he takes stillness to be good and therefore is still. The 10,000 things are insufficient to distract his mind. That is the reason he is still. A good completion takes a long time. A bad completion cannot be changed later. All men know the use of the useful, but nobody knows the use of the useless. Not to understand is profound. To understand is shallow. Not to understand is to be on the inside. To understand is to be on the outside. Flow with whatever may happen. Let your mind be free. Stay centered. By accepting whatever you're doing, this is the ultimate. Let your mind wander in simplicity. Blend your spirit with the vastness. Follow along with things the way they are, and make no room for personal views. Then the world will be governed. Words have value. What is of value in words is meaning. Meaning has something it is pursuing. But the thing that it is pursuing cannot be put into words and handed down. The spirit tower has its guardian, but unless it understands who its guardian is, it cannot be guarded. Things joined by profit, when pressed by misfortune and danger, will cast each other aside. Don't go in and hide. Don't come out and shine. Stand stock still in the middle. But a gentleman may embrace a doctrine without necessarily wearing the garb that goes with it. And he may wear the garb without necessarily comprehending the doctrine. To use a horse to show that a horse is not a horse is not as good as using a non-horse to show that a horse is not a horse. We can't expect a blind man to appreciate beautiful patterns or a deaf man to listen to bells and drums. And blindness and deafness are not confined to the body alone. The understanding has them, too. If you were to hide the world in the world so that nothing could get away, this would be the final reality of the constancy of things. Do not use life to give life to death. Do not use death to bring death to life. Moreover, I have heard that those who are fond of praising men to their faces are also fond of damning them behind their backs. People who excuse their faults and claim they didn't deserve to be punished, there are lots of them. But those who don't excuse their faults and admit that they didn't deserve to be spared, they are few. When a man does not dwell in self, then things will of themselves reveal their forms to him. His movement is like that of water, his stillness like that of a mirror, his responses like those of an echo. In the midst of the darkness, he alone sees the dawn. In the midst of the soundless, he alone hears harmony. When a hideous man becomes a father and a son is born to him in the middle of the night, he trembles and lights a lamp and runs to look in anguish on that child's face to see who he resembles. Eyes that are blind have no way to tell the loveliness of faces and features. Eyes with no pupils have no way to tell the beauty of colored and embroidered silks. When men do not forget what can be forgotten, but forget what cannot be forgotten, that may be called true forgetting. Don't you know about the praying mantis that waved its arms angrily in front of an approaching carriage? Unaware that they were incapable of stopping it, such was the high opinion it had of its talents. Men all pay homage to what understanding understands, but no one understands enough to rely upon what understanding does not understand, and thereby come to understand. Being deeply loved by someone gives you strength, while loving someone deeply gives you courage. Do the difficult things while they are easy, and do the great things while they are small. A journey of 1,000 miles must begin with a single step. Be the chief, but never the Lord. Life is a series of natural and spontaneous changes. Don't resist them. That only creates sorrow. Let reality be reality. Let things flow naturally forward in whatever way they like. Great acts are made up of small deeds. A leader is best when people barely know he exists. When his work is done, his aim fulfilled, they will say, "We did it ourselves." Nature does not hurry, yet everything is accomplished. Treat those who are good with goodness, and also treat those who are not good with goodness. Thus, goodness is attained. Be honest to those who are honest, and also honest to those who are not honest. Thus, honesty is attained. To the mind that is still, the whole universe surrenders. Kindness in words creates confidence. Kindness in thinking creates profoundness. Kindness in giving creates love. If you do not change direction, you may end up where you are heading. Health is the great possession. Contentment is the greatest treasure. Confidence is the greatest friend. Non-being is the greatest joy. Mastering others is strength. Mastering yourself is true power. The power of intuitive understanding will protect you from harm until the end of your days. When you are content to be simply yourself and don't compare or compete, everybody will respect you. He who knows does not speak. He who speaks does not know. I have just three things to teach: simplicity, patience, compassion. These three are your greatest treasures. When I let go of what I am, I become what I might be. Be content with what you have. Rejoice in the way things are. When you realize there is nothing lacking, the whole world belongs to you. He who conquers others is strong. He who conquers himself is mighty. In dwelling, live close to the ground. In thinking, keep to the simple. In conflict, be fair and generous. In governing, don't try to control. In work, do what you enjoy. In family life, be completely present. An ant on the move does more than a dozing ox. The wicked leader is he who the people despise. The good leader is he who the people revere. The great leader is he who the people say, "We did it ourselves." To lead people, walk behind them. The Tao that can be told is not the eternal Tao. The name that can be named is not the eternal name. The nameless is the origin of heaven and earth. The named is the mother of all things. Man's enemies are not demons, but human beings like himself. When virtue is lost, benevolence appears. When benevolence is lost, right conduct appears. When right conduct is lost, expedience appears. Expediency is the mere shadow of right and truth. It is the beginning of disorder. If you would take, you must first give. This is the beginning of intelligence. Truthful words are not beautiful. Beautiful words are not truthful. Good words are not persuasive. Persuasive words are not good. Silence is a source of great strength. At the center of your being, you have the answer. You know who you are, and you know what you want. The wise man does not lay up his own treasures. The more he gives to others, the more he has for his own. Respond intelligently, even to unintelligent treatment. One cannot reflect in streaming water. Only those who know internal peace can give it to others. He who does not trust enough will not be trusted. If you realize that all things change, there is nothing you will try to hold on to. If you are not afraid of dying, there is nothing you cannot achieve. To me, the extraordinary aspect of martial arts lies in its simplicity. The easy way is also the right way. And martial arts is nothing at all special. The closer to the true way of martial arts, the less wastage of expression there is. Knowing is not enough. We must apply. Willing is not enough. We must do. It is not a shame to be knocked down by other people. The important thing is to ask when you are being knocked down, why am I being knocked down? If a person can reflect in this way, then there is hope for this person. Only the self-sufficient stand alone. Most people follow the crowd and imitate. The doubter said, "Man cannot fly." The doer said, "Maybe, but we'll try." And finally soared in the morning glow while non-believers watched from below. For it is easy to criticize and break down the spirit of others. But to know yourself takes a lifetime. The key to immortality is first living a life worth remembering. Everything you do, if not in a relaxed state, will be done at a lesser level than you are proficient. Thus, the tensed expert marksman will aim at a level less than his or her student. Art calls for complete mastery of techniques developed by reflection within the soul. Notice that the stiffest tree is most easily cracked, while the bamboo or willow survives by bending with the wind. Use only that which works, and take it from any place you can find it. The moment is freedom. I couldn't live by a rigid schedule. I try to live freely from moment to moment, letting things happen and adjusting to them. Defeat is a state of mind. No one is ever defeated until defeat has been accepted as a reality. Reality is apparent when one ceases to compare. There is what is, only when there is no comparison at all. And to live with what is to be peaceful. The more we value things, the less we value ourselves. Life is never stagnation. It is constant movement, unrhythmic movement, as we as constant change. Things live by moving and gain strength as they go. Take things as they are. Punch when you have to punch. Kick when you have to kick. Forget about winning and losing. Forget about pride and pain. Let your opponent graze your skin and you smash into his flesh. Let him smash into your flesh and you fracture his bones. Let him fracture your bones and you take his life. Do not be concerned with escaping safely. Lay your life before him. All knowledge simply means self-knowledge. Self-knowledge involves relationship. To know oneself is to study oneself in action with another person. The relationship is a process of self-evaluation and self-revelation. The relationship is the mirror in which you discover yourself. To be is to be related. The spirit of the individual is determined by his dominating thought habits. Choose the positive. You have a choice. You are master of your attitude. Choose the positive. Be constructive. Optimism is a faith that leads to success. Mistakes are always forgivable if one has the courage to admit them. If you spend too much time thinking about a thing, you'll never get it done. Make at least one definite move daily toward your goal. Many people dedicate their lives to actualizing a concept of what they should be like, rather than actualizing themselves. This difference between self-actualization and self-image actualization is very important. Most people live only for their image. You just wait. I'm going to be the biggest Chinese star in the world. The second-hand artist, blindly following his sensei or sifu, accepts his pattern. As a result, his action is, and more importantly, his thinking become mechanical. His responses become automatic, according to set patterns, making him narrow and limited. Life is wide, limitless. There is no border, no frontier. The athlete who is building muscles through weight training should be very sure to work adequately on speed and flexibility at the same time. In combat, without the prior attributes, a strong man will be like a bull with its colossal strength futilely pursuing the matador, or like a low-geared truck chasing a rabbit. A fight is not won by one punch or kick. Either learn to endure or hire a bodyguard. Life is better lived than conceptualized. This writing can be less demanding should I allow myself to indulge in the usual manipulating game of role creation. Fortunately for me, my self-knowledge has transcended that, and I've come to understand that life is best to be lived, not to be conceptualized. If you have to think, you still do not understand. The word superstar is an illusion. All fixed set patterns are incapable of adaptability or pliability. The truth is outside of all fixed patterns. If you always put limits on what you can do, physical or anything else, it'll spread over into the rest of your life. It'll spread into your work, into your morality, into your entire being. There are no limits. There are plateaus. But you must not stay there. You must go beyond them. If it kills you, it kills you. A man must constantly exceed his level. I am not teaching you anything. I just help you to explore yourself. Art is the way to the absolute and to the essence of human life. The aim of art is not the one-sided promotion of spirit, soul, and senses, but the opening of all human capacities, thought, feeling, will, to the life rhythm of the world of nature. So will the voiceless voice be heard and the self be brought into harmony with it. Preparation for tomorrow is hard work today. Take no thought of who is right or wrong, or who is better than. Be not for or against. To spend time is to pass it in a specified manner. To waste time is to expend it thoughtlessly or carelessly. We all have time to either spend or waste, and it is our decision what to do with it. But once passed, it is gone forever. Be happy, but never satisfied. The meaning of life is that it is to be lived, and it is not to be traded and conceptualized and squeezed into a pattern of systems. Be self-aware rather than a repetitious robot. The knowledge and skills you have achieved are meant to be forgotten so you can float comfortably in emptiness without obstruction. Those who are unaware, they are walking in darkness, will never seek the light. Life's battles don't always go to the stronger or faster man. But sooner or later, the man who wins is the man who thinks he can. It's not the daily increase, but daily decrease. Hack away at the unessential. Do not allow negative thoughts to enter your mind, for they are the weeds that strangle confidence. The great mistake is to anticipate the outcome of the engagement. You ought not to be thinking of whether it ends in victory or defeat. Let nature take its course, and your tools will strike at the right moment. In order to taste my cup of water, you must first empty your cup. The world is full of people who are determined to be somebody or to give trouble. They want to get ahead, to stand out. Such ambition has no use for a gung fu man who rejects all forms of self-assertiveness and competition. Endurance is lost rapidly if one ceases to work at its maximum. It's like a finger pointing away to the moon. Don't concentrate on the finger, or you will miss all that heavenly glory. Don't fear failure. Not failure, but low aim is the crime. In great attempts, it is glorious even to fail. The stillness in stillness is not the real stillness. Only when there is stillness in movement does the universal rhythm manifest. Boards don't hit back. Do not be tense. Just be ready. Not thinking, but not dreaming. Not being set, but being flexible. It is being wholly and quietly alive, aware and alert, ready for whatever may come. If you love life, don't waste time, for time is what life is made up of. But neither can you condemn nor justify, and yet be extraordinarily alive as you walk on. You can never invite the wind, but you must leave the window open. The less effort, the faster and more powerful you will be. I wish neither to possess nor to be possessed. I no longer covet paradise. More important, I no longer fear hell. The medicine for my suffering I had within me from the very beginning, but I did not take it. My ailment came from within myself, but I did not observe it until this moment. Now I see that I will never find the light unless, like the candle, I am my own fuel, consuming myself. The successful warrior is the average man with laser-like focus. Be like water, making its way through cracks. Do not be assertive, but adjust to the object, and you shall find a way around or through it. If nothing within you stays rigid, outward things will disclose themselves. Empty your mind. Be formless, shapeless, like water. If you put water into a cup, it becomes the cup. You put water into a bottle, and it becomes the bottle. You put it in a teapot, it becomes the teapot. Now, water can flow or it can crash. Be water, my friend.